The WHO has warned against vaccine nationalism, and as everyone waits for the vaccine trials to finish, life is moving on. Here in Canada, parents, teachers, and schools are embarking on a big experiment by sending kids back to school. Precautions vary depending on where you live. There are rules about masks and personal hygiene, and new policies about what happens when students get sick. As Jeff Semple reports, gone are the days of going off to school with the sniffles.
Good job.
Julia Silvestri Wong is a mother to 3 kids, all under the age of 7, which basically means they're constantly sick.
My youngest is going to preschool and they're going to public school. We're basically sick from October to March.
But this year, taking a sick day won't be so simple. New policies to prevent COVID-19 from spreading in schools mean minor symptoms could become major headaches.
It's scary because you don't want to downplay a symptom if your kid's got a runny nose, but also what if you have to send them to school, or what do you do with them?
The rules range by province and school board, but most require a student to stay home if they have even one of a long list of possible COVID-19 symptoms. Students in British Columbia are asked to consult their doctor and wait till they're feeling better before returning to class. In Alberta, students are legally required to stay home for 10 days or until they're feeling better. Ontario's rules are even stricter. Students must stay home for 14 days unless they have a negative test, in which case they can return 24 hours after feeling better.
There have been several studies that have shown that the test is not reliable.
This pediatrician worries about relying on COVID-19 tests, with evidence suggesting they can sometimes produce false negatives, especially in children.
So any kid with any new symptoms should be considered as having COVID and really should stay at home.
But that could quickly add up to weeks of missed school. Younger students in particular typically catch one viral infection every month.
And so it's very conceivable that, especially as we get into cold and flu season, that a child could have symptoms very typical for COVID-19 but have something else. And so that's one of the reasons why we think it's going to be a bit of a confusing, stressful fall.
Health experts stress the importance of receiving the flu shot and practicing proper hygiene to help ensure children don't catch COVID-19 or anything else. Jeff Semple, Global News, Toronto.
Canada may be a nature lover's paradise, but new research shows some of our wildlife is in serious decline. Natural habitats are increasingly under threat. That's having a major impact on survival. According to the World Wildlife Federation, between 1970 and 2016, populations of species assessed as at risk have fallen an average of 59%, and species deemed globally at risk have plunged by an average of 42% in Canada. Robin Gill looks at the decline of these vulnerable species and what's being done to stop it.
In British Columbia's interior, volunteers at this bird sanctuary have been working diligently to build underground homes for the burrowing owl. In the 1990s, this migratory bird population, which likes to tunnel, dropped by 90%. Considered endangered, there are only roughly 270 left.
The largest issue still eludes us, and that is having enough owls returning into British Columbia such that they can sustain their population over time without our interference.
A new report from the World Wildlife Fund highlights the plight of at-risk animals, their numbers dwindling in Canada.
I think there's a growing urgency knowing that we are seeing these continued downward trends.
There are other animals at risk. Barren ground caribou, also known as reindeer, have seen some herds decline by as much as 98% because natural resource companies are moving in and destroying their habitats. North Atlantic right whales are critically endangered. Only 411 exist in the world, largely because they keep getting killed by ships or fishing gear.
Things are not going in the right direction, and not only are species declining, but how we are addressing the nature of the economy that gives rise to all of these stressors that we know are problems.
For now, projects like the Burrowing Owl Conservation Society have to exist to monitor their existence. The vicious circle that humans have to interfere in protecting a problem we created. Robin Gill, Global News.
Whether reporting news from the field or anchoring it from the studio,
this is the first trade war.
She's been a trusted Canadian storyteller for more than 20 years. Global National with Robin Gill. Weekends on Global.